Hello everyone, this is Varsha and you are watching the series of success stories brought to you by Indian Achievers Forum. So once again, we are here with you all to discuss the success story of one more achiever of our, and this time we have with us Miss Swathi Rao. Swathi is a finance professional based in Kenya who holds a Bachelor of Science in Applied Accounting from Oxford Brookes University, is a CFA chartered holder and is a member of Association of Certified Chartered Accountants as well as the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya. She currently works with I&M Burbage Capital, a regional corporate finance advisory firm, and has successfully structured and executed private markets transaction in East Africa and in a wide variety of sectors and provided clients with advice on strategy financial options available to them. But before we actually start the conversation with her, let's quickly have a look at a very small video telling you about what we actually do.
Indian Achievers Forum is driven by a full-fledged advisory board. The board consists of experienced personalities who have excelled in their respective careers. Together, the forum organizes conferences, events, workshops, exhibitions, trade shows, and B2B initiatives in India as well as abroad. Where there is passion, there is achievement. And where there is achievement, there is Indian Achievers Forum.
Hi Swati, how are you?
Hi, Varsha. Good, thank you. How are you doing?
All good. Thank you so very much. So before we actually start the conversation, Swati, I'm very keen to know that how did you actually choose this particular career for yourself, and also what sets you aside from your peers?
So yeah, why I chose this career, I think it's what came naturally to me. My dad's in the finance side as well, and I think watching him throughout my life just sort of interested me in the same side. Finance is really very broad, there are a lot of lines and segments, and I think through elimination, I was able to exclude the ones that I knew I don't want to do, like auditing. And then when I started doing my CFA, I realized I have an interest in corporate finance, and basically that's how I landed in the current industry. Um, Moving on to what sets me aside from my peers, I think we all come with our own set of strengths, and really a good organization is able to use you for the strengths that you have. But for me personally, I think I'm able to. I think my analysis skills are really good. I'm able to analyze numbers, situations, and people, and present it in a concise manner that's of use to the end user. I think emotional quotient from an emotional quotient perspective as well. I think I'm quite strong. So I think that's what sets me aside.
Right, Swati. So, nothing comes that easy to us, and I'm pretty sure that you must have also had certain sort of challenges in your professional role. So, what challenges you have to face in your career so far, and how do you actually manage to mitigate them?
Yeah, no, thanks. That's exactly right, Varsha. It's it's not easy, and I think in the industry as well, to be able to show the value that you are generating is because it's a service, it's not a product. Is I think very difficult. So many people often choose to bypass the advisor route. They choose to take things in their own matters. So I think the most difficult aspect of our role in general is to be able to show the value that we're creating. Um, Besides the general industry-wide difficulty, I think my personal challenge really has been my age and my gender. The industry that I'm working in is so largely male dominated that it really does become a challenge when I'm trying to put across views, particularly as a minority. Um, it just has meant that I had to work harder to show the value that I add, particularly because I'm most often the youngest in the room. Um, So I think mitigation for that is just really showing people that you have the required skill set to give them the advice that you're giving them. Most of the time, as long as you're working with a rational person, they do recognize and appreciate the value that you're bringing on to the table. Now, in regard to the industry-wide problem, I think we see this trend changing with advisors bringing significant value creation to a deal or a transaction that they're working on, and therefore companies recognizing the value that these advisors are bringing on.
Amazing, Swathi. So now moving ahead, as per you, what contribution you have made to the industry that is the most meaningful to you?
Thanks. Um, So I look at it slightly differently. I treat every deal that I successfully close as a significant success and a contribution that I've made to the industry. Um, Often corporate finance transactions are looked at as a simple exchange of funds, but I believe there's a lot more to these transactions, from identifying partners who share similar values and visions, to be able to spot investors who are able to bring non-financial benefits to their investee companies. I think to be able to close deals is one level, but to be able to close deals with the right partner is a lot harder and more beneficial. I'm happy to have been involved in closure of such deals, and I think that's really what my contribution to the industry is. Um, just to speak a bit more about that, I think the lack of alignment between investors and investees is one of the key reasons for the infamous reputation of private equity in the recent past. Um, Again, I think this is really a trend that we see changing as you know you're able to connect the right partners with the right companies.
Right. So now I'm very keen to know that what are the top values that you ensure to follow in your professional career?
Sure, thank you. Um, So I think ethics is a very critical area for me personally and professionally. Throughout my career, very short career of 8 years or so, I've tried to ensure to act in the most ethical manner possible, whether it's my employers or clients or with other professionals. Um, in addition to this, the market in Kenya is very small, so I think we're bound to cross paths with people at some point in time. And therefore, for me, it's very important that at the end of a transaction or when you're parting ways with an employer, it's done in the most cleanest way possible or in the simplest way possible, really.
Right. So now moving ahead, what do you think are the key success factors to the industry?
Thank you. Um, there's so much to talk about here. I don't know if I would be able to compile it into a few words, but I will give my best. I think let's start with my definition of success. Everyone has their own definition of success. Everyone wants has their own objectives. So personally, for me, a successful career is one where I'm able to establish myself as an expert in a segment in the market. Um, and so a reputation of financial soundness and reliability, essentially. Um, and in order to achieve this, I will have to continue working on as many transactions as I can to broaden my exposure. Um, Although something that I noticed to be very important in this particular industry, which perhaps may be important in others too, but maybe not as much, is the art of networking. Um, so a skill set that I've particularly found to be very important in this industry is the ability to create a network, which can only be done hand in hand with a few other skills. So holding a high level of emotional quotient backed by an understanding of the technical aspects as well will help you, or has helped me build the network that I've been able to do.
Right, Swati. So now I'm very keen to know that what exactly actually inspires you every day to keep going.
Sure. Um, Again, I think I'm a very competitive person by nature. And therefore, anything that I fail at or anything that I see someone do better than me, proves to be a point of inspiration from me. I haven't really linked my inspiration to a particular person or trait. Rather, I've kept it fluid based on circumstances and the people around me. So it's very important for me to be in situations or be around people that challenge me, as that's really what pushes me to grow.
Amazing, Swati. So now, everyone do plans for their future. So, what further plans are you having for yourself in the upcoming years? So, if you can please share a bit of those plans with us.
Yes, sure. Um, so I don't think I've come up with like a 5 year strategy document or that sort of a thing. I do know that in the near future, 5 years or so, I want to achieve my definition of success, or at least I want to have started achieving it. Um, Now, what I how I take my daily steps is I set targets, short term targets, in line with everything that's happening around me. Then, and but I try to ensure that these short term targets are contributing to the achievement of the success that I have defined for myself.
Right, and I wish you all the success for all these plans of yours, Swati.
Thank you so much.
Right. So now moving ahead, here comes the question which I personally, love to ask our awardees, and that is, what are your feelings on winning this International Achievers Award for yourself?
I think it's really an honor, to say the least. It's really nice that it's a nice bit of recognition for whatever I've managed to do this far. There's a lot of hard work and long hours that go into my career on a daily basis, so it's wonderful that it's being recognized, which also pushes me to do better.
Lovely, Swati. So now, before concluding our lovely session, you please tell us a bit about your social contribution to, as in the CSR activities that you are involved in, please.
Yeah. I think it's a matter that I take very personally, and I try to do the best I can on this front. It's unfortunate and it's sad that people are not as privileged as we are, but it is the way of the world. How I try to contribute on the CSR front is, well, there's monetary compensation, and there is also non financial skill set contribution. So I've tried to do it both ways. I try to spend a couple of hours every week on a cause that I believe in. Currently, I'm working with a couple of local institutions whose objective is to eliminate child abuse and educate and support teens in regard to teenage pregnancy. Um, Here is where I've tried to help them with my skill set. So I've supported them with their fundraising initiatives and also with their overall strategy. On the financial support side, I support the World Vision Program, actually also in India, by sponsoring a couple of children. The concept of this program is very interesting, actually. It's whereby a sponsor is responsible for a child's basic needs until they start generating their own income. So it includes, food, education, healthcare, etc. So why this particular concept spoke to me is because you're really taking responsibility for a child throughout their early years until they're able to generate their income, as opposed to giving one-off contributions, which maybe helps them sustain for a day or a month, and then after that they're left to the original position that they were in. So these are the little things that I do to help make the world a better place.
Pretty amazing, Swati. So, thank you so very much for joining with us today. It was pleasure talking to you, and I wish you all the success for all your future endeavors as well. And may you continue to rise and shine the way you are doing. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Varsha. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you.